Wonder Woman issue 4. Brian has a relic of Chang on the art. This is, the next issue in this run, and it's Wonder Woman ended the last issue kind of like sort of denouncing Themyscira and saying, "I am Wonder Woman. I'm not Diana. I'm not your daughter, Hippolyta." I mean, she is. I mean, that was kind of the reveal that she really is her daughter, but like, she's sort of disowning her.
She feels betrayed because of it.
Yeah, and obviously we have a little bookend here with Apollo, and I'm sure you'll tell me who the other god is.
Honestly, I'm surprised you didn't get this one, given that he calls him by his title repeatedly.
Does he? I read this 2 days ago. I don't remember.
I mean, if you just glance at the second page, it's right there in the middle of it.
War. Okay, fair enough.
So this is Ares, of course.
Yeah. Yeah, most of the issue though is actually spent at a concert. Wonder Woman is wearing some ridiculous punk outfit.
I'm into it.
And she's listening to music as Hermes and Zola just kind of debate what she's going through, and
it's a pretty low key issue in that sense.
Yeah. It's funny because I think the more exciting stuff is back at Themyscira, because we have Hera come down and Hippolyta kind of faces her, and the way it plays out, it does a good job of making it feel kind of epic and dangerous, and it's like, okay, I have to face this one-on-one, and the lightning's in the background and all the rest of it, and it leaves it in this way where you're like, okay, is she going to like leave them be? Is she going to let them go? Is she going to sort of, because it's almost like they bond a little bit when she sort of realizes they've both been kind of scorned by this this one man, or this one god I should say, and it leaves it kind of ambiguous. But then at the end of like the story of Wonder Woman's side of it, where she kind of realizes she does want to like reconnect with her mother, and she feels bad for disowning her last issue, which may be my biggest complaint, is that we just did that at the end of last issue. It felt a bit weird to me to have her just mope around for an issue and then decide to go back on it at the end of the very next one.
The reason it worked for me enough is that the whole point of why she's at this concert, and and you're being in the crowd, it all talks about feeling a part of a community and society. I think the issue is her kind of realizing that, and then there's the moment where Strife threatens Zola's baby. She threatens to just rip it out of her, and Diana stabs her with the glass that she's just broken. And it's this idea of, okay, community plus protection, and she kind of comes to that realization over the issue, and that's why she's like, okay, I should probably go back and apologize.
Yeah, I just feel like there should have been like almost like a story, an arc or whatever in between. I mean, obviously there might not be a story to tell, but I'm just like, I feel like you have her be angry Diana for an arc, and then you do this issue, just to make it feel like it sort of had some time to really simmer. Because when she shows up at the end and it's too late, and like everyone, like Hippolyta is dead, turned to stone, and well, technically maybe she can come back from this. I don't know. I never read all this run, but and everyone else has turned into snakes. I'm like, this guilt she feels for coming back too late would have worked better had it been longer. The fact that it happened this quick makes you feel like she could have really made this choice that much quicker.
I know, I get what you're saying. I do wonder if this is a case, one of those rare cases where something played much better reading it monthly, as opposed to in a trade, or as relatively speaking, we're still half the time, as it were, where that month wait, you might have kind of felt like, okay, an actual month has maybe passed, and while we didn't see it, Diana's been off like this for a few weeks.
Yeah, maybe it did play better that way. But I definitely felt like a weird rush to sort of have her reach that point and conclude and sort of go back in that way. Not that I don't enjoy the heart-to-heart with Zola, and them talking about the bed and her mother and all that stuff, or Hermes with his foot cast on, or I say foot, claw cast.
It's more ankle. It doesn't really go over the whole foot as much, does it? Well, it does. It just leaves all the problem is it leaves the front claw talon bit so free that it doesn't feel like it covers most of the foot.
But she goes back to Themyscira, and she just finds a bunch of snakes, and we end on the final page of her hugging Hippolyta, who's turned to stone. It's a great final moment that I thought should. I actually was disappointed when I turned the page and there was more. I was like, wait, whoa, that's your ending. What are you doing?
It is. You've got 2 more pages of Ares going on about shit.
Yeah, and honestly, I didn't really get a whole lot out of these pages. I mean, yeah, you've got this like the village has been killed. You see the dead people as he walks out, but I kind of just felt like. First of all, I didn't really think I got much out of this scene anyway, in general. But if you're going to have it here, just put the whole thing at the start. I felt like having this bookend thing is like, no, your final page is Wonder Woman hugging her stonified mother.
I actually agree, even though I really like that final beat from Ares going, you know, the world will be ruled by war. It's inevitable. And that's kind of...
The final panel is really a really nice panel. Don't get me wrong, him walking away into the red background as there's just this dead body in the foreground is good.
And generally speaking, it's a great ending panel, right? But I do think it is weakened by the fact that we just had a great ending page, you know, just 2 pages before.
And it's a full page spread, the hugging the stone... mother. I feel like that is your ending page. Or
it's the sort of page where if you were reading this in a trade that didn't have the issue breaks in it,
you would assume
and
it was
you were
the
trying
end,
to guess where the end was, you'd go, "That's the end of that issue."
I mean, or not even just put it all at the start. I mean, just put the second half of that opening in the middle, or put it right before this scene at the end where Wonder Woman goes to Themyscira. Just swap the 2 scenes. Have that scene, him walking off, all kind of like ambiguous and like kind of evil, and have that lead into the mood of her arriving to the Themyscira, which is just completely empty but snakes, you know.
Yeah, I actually agree. Yeah.
So yeah, I don't want to be too harsh because it's still it's still a well told enough issue, but I do think it's the weakest of the 4. I'm gonna say the 4 so far. So as what it is, but I guess we're in the middle of an arc, so.
Well, that's the weird thing about this book is. I don't know how much you read. It doesn't really have arcs. It just kind of runs for about 30 odd issues, really? and that's it. Yeah.
No, I think I literally read whatever's in the first trade, so I've probably only read the next 2.
It does not have like a natural trade conclusion. It's very much just one big story.
That's fair enough. What are you giving it?
I'm going to give it a 7.5. Couple of pacing things that we've talked about and that drag it down, but I like a lot of the content that is there, all the conversation, everything with Diana, the confrontation between Hera and Hippolyta, and the art is gorgeous. You know, when Hippolyta, not Hippolyta, Hera goes in to swing the axe, it's got like the purple backgrounds and stuff. Oh, that looks great.
I mean, I like it. She's coming down with the cloak on, and there's like lightning behind her and all that stuff. Like
it's like the peacock cloak.
And we talked about the blood red background as Ares is walking off at the end, and there's a lot of good stuff with the color, especially in the issue. So
this is a prime example of why Wilson is one of the top colorists in the industry.
So yeah, I'm going to give it a straight 7. I think for me. I don't know what I give last. I think last issue was like a 7.5. I gave it. So yeah, it's definitely the weakest of the 4. I think. But yeah, we'll see how issue 5 changes things up next time.